much, and welcome to TNT. And in a moment, we're about ready to introduce to you our very first guest, who is actually right now, I think, in the top running for Manager of the Year. Many of you voting for Manager of the Year. At one time, believe it or not, Freddie Blassie was leading the voting of Manager of the Year. But it's kind of nip and tuck right now with Hillbilly Jim. And our next guest, would you please welcome Captain Louis Albano. Mr. Albano.
How you doing, Renee?
Very well. Looks like you've gained a little weight since last week.
No, not really. I lost a few pounds. I can't find it, though, but I've lost a few. I'm on that new diet of mine, you know, unborn virgin goat's milk. I keep bringing that up 3 quarts a day. I'd like to talk a little bit, though, about the Manager of the Year contest. I believe I'm in the forerunning. Is that right?
As a matter of fact, this week you are. Not by much, but you're right there. You're actually leading.
Well, let me tell you this. I feel I deserve to be. After all, I am the maker of 15 tag team champions.
That's remarkable. 15.
And, you know, I said it would be done. Wyndham and Rotunda. We've all the way up the line, right up here now to the present day. And here we have the world champions once again, defeating Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik. So Freddie Blassie can't be too happy about that. And then I believe I've done wonders with the animal. I took a man that was schizophrenic, suicidal, and homicidal. Dr. Rodney Easthaven recommended Sigmund Ziff, which at the time I'm very upset about. You know, he hasn't done too much with George Steele,
well,
but
last
basically...
week we saw it. How is George Steele?
Well, George, I told you he's a compassionate human being. He's got a calcium deposit lodged in the medulla of his brain. I felt by seeing this Dr. Ziff and by shock therapy, the man could be helped. It seemed like he was progressing immensely. Then all of a sudden, bing, back down, we gotta start all over again. But I know George Steele well, and I feel by talking to the man, by comforting him, and by showing a little kindness to the animal.
You're going to stay away from that scientific business.
Well, I'm going to actually, basically, I have seen a lawyer, a very good friend of mine, and he said, Captain, he said, you've got a lawsuit. He said, this has got to be brought to court. He said, the man went from a 50 to a 60 to a 70, all the way up to 90% capacity. George Steele was doing fine. Then all of a sudden, bang, back down 50, 40, 30, 10,
right.
minus 20. The man is in trouble.
Well, nonetheless, you are in the front running and the Manager of the Year, and it must make you feel good, Mr. Albano.
There's a couple of friends of mine out there. Makes me feel good because I feel I'm a very qualified... I want to get one thing understood, Vinny. I'm not a trainer. I have a staff of trainers that train my men. I'm the manager. I should be the... What's this?
A little bit later on.
What's this coming out here?
A little bit later
What's
on.
What's your problem, pal?
If he's going to be considered, Vince, to be in the top running for the Manager of the Year, you have to consider the simple fact of Luscious Johnny Valiant, whom I took Brutus Beefcake, and he took me, and together, it's a bona fide union, a marriage, not of love, but of mutual respect for one another. The man is undoubtedly one of the greatest wrestlers, Vince, you have ever seen or described wrestle. And Albano, you know that. And you saw Luscious Johnny Valiant take this man and mold him and teach him everything that I know.
Wait a minute, lay dead for 2 seconds. How about me that took him, Wyndham and Rotunda, and made him champions for the 15th time?
Yeah, you also managed 15 losers, Mr. Albano. You know that too, right?
No, I'm on top again with a winner. How
You're
about
on
George
top
Steele?
of the winner. You went to the state hospital for the criminally insane. You got some poor deal like that.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
What do you mean, wait a minute?
Are you calling George
You call that
Steele?
mental case an
Are you
athlete?
calling George Steele a derelict?
Hold it.
Are you
I'm calling him a mental case.
Would you please behave yourself?
Oh, Judy,
Please.
what does he think he is?
Let me take you to some
You're gonna
videotape
insult
footage
me?
involving other managers in the World Wrestling Federation. As a matter of fact, all of whom, with the possible exception of Lou Albano, I'd like to get your comments after we take a look at this videotape footage. Let's take you now of the public bidding.
Let's see what's going on.
They named the bird call after you. It's called Cheap.
You don't want to.
wait a
You don't want to
minute.
start.
10,000 comedians out of work, and Heenan's trying to be one. I'm very serious today, Bobby. I'm telling
You
you.
want to be right at the top.
I want to be right at the top.
I'm the only one here that managed a world champion.
Okay, now you got my ear.
I'm
right
the only
there,
one
man.
that's loaded with diamonds. Wouldn't you like to have diamonds like this?
I love diamonds.
Wouldn't you like to have walking around money like this?
This is.
Take a look at this.
You see that right there?
This is just walking around money with Freddie Blassie. Thousands here. And I guarantee you, there's a lot more where this came from. I can just visualize you in sequins, rhinestones, making that grand entrance. You know, that boat, you got an outfit on now, very becoming, but I can make you sensational. You know, Liberace copied his style after the great Freddie Blassie.
Liberace copied Freddie Blassie?
That's right.
Is that right or wrong?
Randy, you want to carry around a bunch of cash, or would you like your own gold American Express?
Anybody can get those with this.
All right, now comments, Mr. Albano. Are you in the bidding for
Let
the
me tell you
services of
something,
Savage?
Vince. I'm not in the bidding. I saw this Savage youngster, and he's a very fine, capable athlete, perhaps one of the greatest athletes of all time. But I detect in the man, I detect a flaw in his character, so I'm not interested in the bidding.
Flaw in his
flaw
character.
in his character, something I don't like about him. Savage, you're not my kind of guy.
All right, now, Mr. Valiant, what about you? We did not see you publicly bidding for the services of Mr. Savage, but we understand you are privately.
I'm a very private man, Vince McMahon. I have a bona fide reason. I have a bone to pick with certain people. I really don't want to divulge at this present time. You see, I don't put my business out on the street. Some people like Albano here.
Shut up. Don't tell me what I do.
You wind up in the street, you sleep there all night anyhow. See, luscious Johnny Valiant does not put his business on the street. I respect this macho man. I see a lot of qualities in him. He kind of resembles, in a way now, Brutus Beefcake, who's the top athlete here right now, baby.
Thank you, boys. Earlier on, Louis Albano joined us, and interrupting us, of course, the gentleman to my right, luscious Johnny Valiant, who is still here with us, both of whom are vying for the Manager of the Year. And why again, do you feel you should be Manager of the Year, Mr. Valiant?
Well, there's no doubt, Vince McMahon, that I have certainly taken this young athlete, Brutus Beefcake, not from the depths, because he certainly had the ability, or raw ability.
Yes.
I felt that I've added to this young man's career immensely, and I felt that he's also able, luscious Johnny Valiant, maybe to enter wrestling as a bona fide manager, let's just say that way right then and there. I feel I should be maybe the rookie manager of the year, or maybe, in fact, quote-unquote, the manager of the year.
Right, then, in a moment, we're just about ready to introduce you, ladies and gentlemen.
Vince McMahon, not to be very ignorant, of course, I have mutual respect for you. I would like to be the one to introduce your next guest.
Why?
Because I'm certainly aware of the simple fact, as well as you are, Lord Alfred Hayes, and Vince McMahon, and all our viewing audience out there, the next guest is luscious Johnny Valiant's main squeeze, I guess the term. The great, the inimitable one, Mr. Brutus Beefcake.
Sit down, if you would, please, Mr. Beefcake. Would you prefer Mr. Beefcake, Mr. Brutus, Brutai? What would you prefer?
Sir would be fine.
Sir. Very well.
Sir Beefcake.
Beg your pardon?
Sir Beefcake.
Sir Beefcake, you are aware, of course, that some of the fans chant fruitcake about the ringside area, are you not? You have heard that chant.
That's a continuing, a bit of a problem, you might say.
It somewhat disturbs you then.
Somewhat is a gross understatement.
It is. You feel that you should be indeed, the fans should refer to you as sir.
I feel they should be completely quiet.
That's right.
Completely quiet?
When I am being announced, and out of respect, they should be completely quiet. Yes.
And you concur with that, Mr. Valiant?
Well, it's no doubt about it, Vince. The people have been very ignorant to this young man, as I have accompanied him throughout the United States on various occasions. Fruitcake or whatnot, quote unquote. You know, they've referred to his maybe a sexual preference down the road or something like that.
Well, with that,
you know, let me just say something right there. I don't think that's nice to, you know, to do stuff like that.
Let's
In fact,
take you to
my man
videotape
getting very
footage.
provoked, and I'm getting very provoked.
Now introducing from San Francisco, California, weighing 262 pounds, Brutus Beefcake.
San Francisco, California. Brutai. There's some rumors floating around the World Wrestling Federation, Jesse, that you were thinking of teaming up with El Brutai.
Well, I'll tell you what, I definitely would never overlook that possibility. I like Brutus Beefcake's style. He's definitely colorful enough for me. You know, that's a big part of it, too. You know,
Could you handle the situation with the Luscious One?
I'm not sure. You know, it would take some negotiating.
Uh-huh. I heard that you weren't too fond of spreading any of your money around, Jess.
Oh, definitely not. I hoard my
That's
money.
why I questioned whether you could live with Luscious Johnny or not.
No,
He'd want a piece of the pie.
Depends how big that piece of pie is.
Oh, okay.
And depends what the man can do for me.
Well, that's very important as well. Keith Diamond.
Always remember, ask not what you can do for yourself, ask what you can do for me.
Oh, it seems to me that slogan just a little bit misinterpreted there, Jess. Beefcake, very successful here in the World Wrestling Federation. Certainly in the top 5.
Look at that, a clean break out of Brutus.
Well, I'm sure there's an ulterior motive behind that we will see what happens. What remains to be seen. Keith Diamond, nice looking youngster. Another nice clean break. Congratulations to Brutus Beefcake.
He surprised you, didn't he, Gorilla?
Certainly did. Well, in as many years as I've been around professional wrestling, not too many things surprise me, Jess. Wow, nice forearm.
I heard that, Gorilla. You got to get up pretty early in the morning to beat you to the punch.
Well, the Gorilla gets up pretty early, Jess, every morning. Cheering squad. One of the men currently getting a great number of votes. Uh-oh, look out. Take a look. The Hillbilly and Uncle Elmer coming down to take a look at the man who put the Hillbilly on the shelf, Brutus Beefcake. I'm sure Jim is telling him, there's the guy right there, Uncle Elmer, that really did a number on me and put me out of wrestling now for the past 4 or 5 months.
Well, they got no business out here, Gorilla.
Well, it's time to take a look at it.
Yeah, but the World Wrestling, you know, what right do they have to come out here trying to distract Beefcake, trying to distract Valiant?
Oh,
and it's doing the job.
They're not making any attempt to go into the ring. They're just taking a look. Nice clothesline by Brutus. Keith coming in.
They're making an attempt because there's monitors they can watch. They don't have to be out here.
Well, it's always best if you can see it close up. 3 count. Brutus gets him with a 3 count. He was distracted, however, by Hillbilly Jim and Uncle Elmer. And now he's really doing a job putting the boots here to young Keith.
Well, they got Beefcake irate, and I don't blame him.
Well, he's going to have to contend with Uncle Elmer very shortly, or with Hillbilly Jim. Let's get the word.
The winner of the match, Brutus Beefcake.
Brutus Beefcake getting the Duke this week in the World Wrestling Federation. Let's go back and take a look at just how he did it. What a power slam here. That was enough. He knocked the wind right out of him right there.
Very impressive victory.
Very impressive victory, no doubt about that. He's showing here before your viewing audience here, McMahon, of the man's physical abilities. He's a great conditioned athlete, there's no doubt about it. To manage him is certainly a labor of love.
Well, we saw, of course, another manager, and, of course, we saw another wrestler extraordinaire come out and take a little closer look at Brutus Beefcake as well as yourself.
Yeah, I don't know if they were exactly what you could term, quote-unquote, wrestler. They were just 2 half-wits, bunch of walk-ons from Deliverance or whatnot. That one buffet buster, I saw him out there, Mr. Quadruple XL himself, that Uncle Elmer, saw that character out here. See the flies follow that guy around from airport to airport.
Wait,
they can't wait till this guy hits up in the 747s where they get desensitized or whatnot. And the other professional
You buy 2 tickets to get in, don't you?
Yeah, right. Hey, what about the situation here with Hillbilly Jim? Hillbilly Jim.
Well, obviously,
everybody think he's going to be coming back. Only guy who came back, brother, was MacArthur.
Brutus, do you feel he'll be back after you were the one that put him out of action?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. It must be a team of 150 doctors at least just to get the man up so he can walk out there. It's quite evident that he would never, ever want to climb into the ring again with me, or because he had his chance right there, right in front of nationwide TV to clobber me. He had all the help he needed. Johnny was at my side.
Certainly you have all the help you need.
Blind dates of wrestling, Vince. That's the point of paragraph.
With that, we'll be back with more TNT. Roddy Piper to join us. Stay with us. Back with more TNT in a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest, without a doubt, one of the greats of all time in the World Wrestling Federation. Many do not like his tactics in the ring. Many do not like his tactics out of the ring. As a matter of fact, he is the host of his very own talk show on the World Wrestling Federation Network, known as Piper's Pit. Would you please welcome Roddy Piper.
Hello, nice to be here with the Tint Band. Thank you very much.
Have a seat.
I'm in such a happy mood. Just so happy to be down here and happy to know that you're going to get the privilege to kind of slip by my hometown, my home country, and the way we kind of have fun where I come from. And I was kind of hoping you'd come in my playground and play ball with me.
Well, your playground more often than not is inside the squared circle, is it not?
Oh, no, that's when I take care of business. No,
that's
you
not
see,
the
You see, that's why you're sitting there and I'm the wrestler. Because when I get in the squared circle, that is not fun time for me. That is serious beat up time. You remember the time I beat you up?
I do.
Well, you know how serious I can be. Did I get you?
No, as a matter of fact.
Well, you see, there's still something interesting to look forward to on the show. As boring
As a matter of fact, what we would like to do, Mr. Piper,
Yes.
is to take you into, well, certainly not the playground, but where you do your work.
Yo!
Let's take you by way of videotape footage.
You got a ticket?
Piper 238, Glasgow, Scotland. You know about him. Paul Orndorff, Tampa, Florida 256. And what a physical package he is.
Holy mackerel, looks like someone took a chisel.
Oh, there's a slap.
Slapped him right in the face. He doesn't have to get him riled up, Gene. He is riled up.
Again. What is he asking for?
He's asking for a big headache.
Now he paintbrushes him. Slams him and gets away with it. Oh,
he never turned loose. He never turned loose of that wrist. He's still got it.
Orndorff is not going to let go.
Still got that left wrist hook. Oh, beautiful maneuver. Spinning roll under by Orndorff. And is he hot?
Oh, what? He's opening up the hand, too. That's not a closed fist.
Look at that. Oh, ram job right into the steel turnbuckle.
Oh,
Piper just hung there.
I don't want to say where that boot went, but I believe it was a little below the belt.
Roddy's in a whole heap of trouble.
That's got to be painful.
Oh, dropped that elbow right on the leg.
The inner upper thigh.
Orndorff's got to be very careful here. He could get disqualified.
You know something? Orndorff doesn't care.
I guess not, Jim. Oh, poked him right in the eye.
Well, there, Mr. Piper, it seems to me that you and Paul Orndorff, a man who very, very much looks forward to stepping into that most unique 20-foot by 20-foot environment.
I was just wearing him out. You see, Blunderful, he's got all them muscles and he has all them females. That's funny. Kitty Boots Bomber, that's the girl that he was with the night before WrestleMania. Maybe that's why you didn't do so good in WrestleMania. Maybe that's why you're a loser. I told him one time, and this is a true story, something that you could all... you don't have to be worried. Don't worry.
I'm all right.
You don't have to be. You know, his little boy come home, and he had great big alligator tears in his eyes.
Paul Orndorff's son?
Paul Orndorff's kid.
I didn't know he had a son.
Because all the other kids were picking on him and saying, "Hi, your daddy's stupid loser! Yeah, your daddy's an idiot! Your daddy sleeps with 45-pound barbell plates!" And a little kid comes home crying, and he comes up to Mr. Wonderful, and Mr. Wonderful wants to look him in the eye and say, "No, I'm not a loser. Not only are you a loser, you're a liar and a rotten parent. And this is a guy that's mad at me. I ain't done nothing. Ace is the one to do something. There was a prime example. If you just would have showed more of that, you would have shown me just beating the heck out of Mr. Blunderful. You would have showed those abdominal muscles all of a sudden hanging down to the knees and hanging down. Then you would have showed the tongue, and then you would have seen the same thing that must run in the Orndorff. I wonder if they spell that backwards. In the Orndorff family, and that is, all of a sudden there came big alligator tears in Orndorff. And
he was crying?
He started crying. It couldn't have been because I kept hammering the back of his head against this beautiful piece of metal on the thing. And all of a sudden, he didn't want nothing to do with me no more, except for when he's about 10 miles away. And you don't blame him, do you?
All right, well, we thank you, Mr. Piper.
About you.
I know what to say about you.
When we return, we'll take you to the ancestral home of Roddy Piper and Loch Ness.
You are.
Back in Scotland. Stay with us, we'll have more TNT, more Roddy Piper. I don't think this is Alfred.
There's nothing to be afraid of. You just go ahead down yourself. It's my little playground, my little fun time. Don't worry, we cleaned it up for you.
Alfred.
Get down there, that's it. You've been to jolly old England, you with the peach suit. They're not used to peach suits in there, but I'm sure some of the folks in there you'll enjoy. Just go ahead and just don't mind.
I'll get the door,
First, oh. Hello!
Are you kidding me?
Hello, my friends!
Alfred.
Oh, just keep on forthing forth. Just forsooth. Oh, just push right through.
Alfred.
Don't scare anybody with that jacket, McMahon.
Scare anybody?
There we go.
Give me a break.
Oh, welcome home. Welcome to my little... Did Smitey Spidey get you? You gotta watch it. You'll just run right down and grab you and make your day. This is my little... and Hazel.
What is this? Alfred,
That's Aunt Hazel. There's stories that
Aunt Hazel.
Aunt Hazel. They said she was a witch. They used to call her Witch Hazel. But we just keep her around because she's just a lovely person. And mwah, we love you, Aunt. And that's not really her. We just had a model made up. But Aunt Hazel looks much better than that does. What smell? There's nothing that smells in here.
There's rancid in here.
Wait a second. Did Mighty Spidey? I thought Mighty Spidey might have got to you.
Look at cobwebs all over you.
But you oh.
You gotta be kidding me.
Hello. How are ya?
This man, really.
Oh, he's a friend of mine. He's a little.
This man is a
little loose upstairs.
He's a friend.
Tighten it up a little bit here.
No, come on.
Oh, mama. You see, these are just friends now. If he didn't want this done to him, I wouldn't do it to him because I'm just a kind person. That's all.
You mean to tell me?
Kind that'll stretch you. How do you like? Is there anything I can do for you? Anything at all?
I want to go to the bathroom. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Think of winds. Hot desert winds. Hot desert winds going over big piles of camel stuff.
I think he's already been to the bathroom.
Stretch him until you don't gotta go there. You don't wanna go. This, you see, that's the reason he's like this. Every time I wrestle, he insists once and again to be in this particular position to watch my wrestling matches, because that's how he enjoys it the most.
Wait a minute. You mean this man is here
Yes.
because he enjoys to be here? He enjoys this type of treatment?
Having a good time. And no, I won't rent you the rack. I don't care what you say. And his wife. Hello. I don't know. I haven't been down here for a while. You ring the bars. Hello. We haven't fed him. We haven't. Will you care to join in the fun? Go ahead, have some people. We haven't fed him. How you do? That's the lady. That's his wife there.
Now, wait a minute.
Well, what's that?
She.
This is Mrs. Stretch out right down there.
Mr. and Mrs. Stretch?
That's Mr. Stretch right down there. That's Mrs.
And they enjoy being here.
They're
your guests.
Well, my guests. Well, I'm feeding them more. There we go. Okay. You know, have you had enough? Is that tooth still bothering you? Here, bring it here, honey. Bring it here. So tooth, bring it. I got to do a little surgery. Just one.
Please, I don't think for the benefit of our viewers.
Have you been watching me on wrestling? Oh, yeah? Okay, no more hate for you. If that's the kind of attitude, if that's the kind of jerk you want to be, you can just stay in there another. Have you ever been on a rack?
No, Mr. Piper, I don't wish to be on a rack.
No, wait a second. Everybody in the whole wide world at one time or another loves to be on a rack. How about you there, big fella?
I don't think...
No, in a bottle all wrong. There we go. I just rest my knee there while I dry myself out. Oh, baby.
I think we just about had it.
No,
this is the worst smell.
He can go on like this.
This is the worst smell.
Worst smell? No.
We'll be back as we continue with more TNT.
Yeah.
Stay with us. Think up for a minute.
Really give this a hang on a second, man. Oh.
Back with more TNT, Lord Alfred Hayes, and still getting the... Alfred, you've got a...
Yeah, that's...
Alfred, you're wrapped all up in it here. Alfred, wait a minute. Alfred, you've got... garbage here. Wait a minute. Here's a little... Wait a minute, I think I got him. That was an unusual set of circumstances a moment ago with Roddy Piper, a most unusual individual. Speaking of unusual, we would like to take you moments from now to some special videotape footage involving an individual who is about to make his entry into the World Wrestling Federation. No doubt he has extraordinary credentials in terms of his military career, but now he wants to step into the ring as a professional wrestler. Let's take a look at what's going to be a newcomer, a gentleman by the name of Corporal Kirshner. Let's go to the videotape.
All right, Gene Okerlund again on assignment, looking for Corporal Kirshner from Fort Bragg, North Carolina. One of the true sons of America, and a man, of course, as I've said before, with an outstanding military record. This is his training ground. It is here where the man prepares for his upcoming battles within the ranks of the World Wrestling Federation. He's got to be here someplace. He does. I'll continue on. God, is it hot. Oh! Well, I still continue to look for Corporal Kirshner here in this tall grass, his training ground for his upcoming battles in the World Wrestling Federation. I know the man has got to be here someplace. I've had to crawl on my belly and walk through this stuff for at least a couple of 2 or 3 miles, and it is hot. I don't mind telling you. It is
Gene, what are you doing here?
Corporal Kirshner, wait a minute.
Sorry, brother,
it's me.
Sorry, that's all right.
Oh, my
Hold
word.
still for a minute. You almost got stuck, you know that?
Oh.
Mean Gene, you're not supposed to be out here in these training grounds.
Well, I was just trying to get a hold of you.
You shouldn't be here.
I'm aware of that. Corporal, I didn't mean to invade your privacy,
Let me
but...
put this away.
Please.
Sit up. You all right?
This is incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, I finally found him. Corporal Kirshner, training, getting ready, mental and physical preparation for his upcoming battles within the World Wrestling Federation.
Alfred, what do you think? This man is has all kind of credentials militarily.
Yes, his courage is in absolutely no doubt whatsoever. He's chosen a very, very tough training ground for himself. He's more or less living a Spartan existence there, a hermit-type existence. He's living from the earth. It can only create a major, major problem for a lot of people in the WWF.
What about for him, though? I mean, coming into the World Wrestling Federation, walking into the arenas of 20,000 people. I mean, the gentleman certainly is not accustomed to that.
No, but at the same time, he has this tremendous confidence in himself. After all, he free flights from airplanes from thousands and thousands of foot every day. Now, that takes a lot of nerve. So I don't think facing 10,000, 20,000
You're talking about his parachuting, free falling?
Yes, free falling.
Yes, he is a most unusual individual. Look forward to his matches in the World Wrestling Federation. Maybe it'll be a short-lived career, who knows? But speaking of an individual right now, ladies and gentlemen, has a very long career in the World Wrestling Federation, would you please welcome the illustrious Special Delivery S.D. Jones. Making his home in Philadelphia, where you have, of course, for some time, but originally from the islands, from Antigua.
Yeah, I was born in Antigua, the West Indies. It's a little island down the Caribbean, right close to Guadeloupe. About 108 square miles, about 300,000 people.
Well, that's a little, that environment, of course, growing up in that environment is totally different than the environment in which you are in today.
Yeah, it is, especially when you were a kid, you can't talk back to your teachers. The teachers spank you there, and then when you go home, you can't tell your parents why you get spanked. They say, what did you do? So, well, I talk tough to my teachers. They say, well, you got to get it again, so you get it home.
So you get it both ways?
Yeah, here you can't do that. Your family goes to the teacher and whoop them instead of the teacher whoop you. It's strange. It was something new for me when I got here.
Things are different. I'm sure the dietary situation totally different than it is here in many respects. Just the all-around habitat, totally different. We'll get into that in a moment. Right now, we'd like to get into something which will show you Special Delivery Jones in action. We'll join the match in Madison Square Garden.
He had no answer for that second move, and I think the first one shocked him so much.
Look at those shots right into the lower lumbar region. Kicked him right in the back of the leg. You think FD is upset? He looks upset to me.
I think he is.
He should be. He's been a little bit humiliated here. referee making him break that right away. He wanted to make a wish there.
Yes, the referee was quite right there.
Flying headbutt out of desperation by Charlie Fulton. Uh-oh. Says, I'll show you who's king of the headbutts.
Yes, I don't think Fulton should ever have made that move. But now, previously we were saying the pendulum was in Fulton's favor. Now it's definitely swung with S.D. Jones.
No question.
Or do you think he was just biding his time?
I don't think so. No, I think he, I don't know, he may have come out here with a negative attitude or something to that effect. And, you know, his mind wasn't on what he was doing, but it certainly is right now. He won't let Charlie drop. He's holding him up.
Oh!
Big left hand lets him go, though.
Right on the point of the jaw. Fulton now is really taking a lot of punishment.
He has arisen. The anger.
Yes.
SD.
Yes.
Got both wrists taped. Turnbuckle pad doesn't allow you a great deal of comfort when you're going in it at that speed, because underneath there is that big iron turnbuckle.
Yes, and that shock of that runs all the way down the spine, which of course is the central nervous system.
Sure. Plus it's all threaded in there so they can draw these ring ropes up, and I've seen many a guy get cut wide open on many a night. Exchanging now, rights and lefts. Rights by Fulton and lefts by SD. I think he poked him in the eye there.
Yes. Well, I didn't see that, but I've certainly seen these last flurry of punches from SD Jones.
Going for the ride. Oh, almost knocked the referee down. Charlie Fulton in, but nobody home. Wow, what a headbutt. Goodbye. It's over.
Hey! Oh, what timing SD Jones had there.
Yeah, that headbutt is something that has won many a match, and another victory for Special Delivery Jones in Madison Square Garden. We were talking earlier about how you had many adversities growing up in Antigua, of course, and certainly appreciating what the states can bring you. But in any family, there are always adversities, and I know that there's been an experience with, as a matter of fact, your son growing up here in the States.
Yeah, about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, he was playing baseball, and we were watching him. And he tried to run, and he fell down, and he got up and he ran, he fell down. So everybody laughed. He thought he was just clumsy.
Mm-hmm.
I took him home, and I found out he had a couple of lumps on the left leg. So I took him to the doctors. When I got there, they told me, well, it doesn't look too good. So they put him under that big, the big machines with all the tests and everything, and they had a biopsy.
Mm-hmm.
They found out he had osteogenic sarcoma, bone cancer.
My goodness.
Fast moving. They had
How old was he?
He was 11 then.
11 years old.
And they had us to take the leg off, and what they did now at Sloan's Kettering Memorial Hospital in Manhattan, excuse me, I got a cold too. They took the section from here where the cancer was, and they put the leg back on. They took the whole knee section out, they put the leg back and gave him a prosthesis down. Now he moves faster than when he had his legs.
Is that right?
He plays baseball, basketball, and he wants to play football in school, but it's too risky.
Oh, sure
so
it is, yeah. Well, you can see that as far as the genes are concerned, I mean, that's one thing that certainly has kept S.D. Jones going, that never say die kind of attitude. Every time someone knocks S.D. Jones down, we see him getting right back up. And obviously that's carried on in the genes to your son. I mean, that can't be an easy experience to overcome.
He's very strong. I couldn't believe it myself. He got over it so magnificently. He is big now. I'm looking almost close on his face at age 13, 11, 12, 13 years old now.
Big boy, we wish him all the best of luck. And SD, we certainly wish you all the best of luck as well.
Thank you very much, Vince. It's a pleasure being here. Where's my steel band?
It'll be back. We'll be back with the steel band. More TNT. Bobby the Brain Heenan's going to join us. Back with more TNT in a moment, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to introduce to you a gentleman who spares no expense whatsoever to get what he really wants. We're about ready to introduce to you an individual who placed for the first time in World Wrestling Federation history a bounty on another individual, another wrestler, a $25,000 bounty. Lord Alfred Hayes, that's a tremendous incentive for someone to attempt to knock out of wrestling the likes of Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
It really is, but what it does mostly, I think, it distracts First off, you're going to get everybody who can wrestle just the slightest bit trying for that 25,000, but that leaves Heenan's big boys free to strike whenever they want to, at random, you might say.
All right, let's discuss this a little bit further after we introduce to you our guest, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Mr. Heenan, it seems every time we light, is the light a little too bright for you in here? Cut down the lights a little bit, or?
I can get by right now.
Very well. Nonetheless, what do you have in the briefcase? I would suggest maybe the cash. Are you?
$25,000 in $1 bills.
In $1 bills.
So whoever I give this to, it will take them longer to count it, and they'll enjoy every minute more.
But not perhaps as much as you will enjoy the individual collecting that $25,000.
Well,
you'll enjoy spending that, won't you?
It's money well spent. Let's put it this way: whoever collects the money, whether Terry Funk, John Studd, Roddy Piper, while they're counting that money, I'm going to be like one of those cheap lawyers. I'm going to be following that ambulance to the hospital.
Collecting it for what?
Paul Orndorff's body. To have him put out of professional wrestling.
That's
for
what
good.
You have in mind, and you think
Yes.
25,000 can do that?
I would say so.
How close have you come?
Well, Orndorff's been very lucky. He must have a bunch of rabbit's feet in his pocket, a bunch of four-leaf clovers, and must be doing something right. But we're getting closer every day. You know, you can go to Vegas and you can play a slot machine.
You. I'm looking at something we'll get back to. Bobby the Brain, is he really a weasel in this magazine?
What the hell are you talking about now?
Well, it's right here.
You don't have to show that on this show. Let's talk about something important. That's not important to me. This is important to me.
All right, I just want to... This is, of course, the magazine. And inside the magazine here is the most... I don't think I've... Bobby Heenan, is he really a weasel? And what is so amazing here is that when you flip the page and you see down at the bottom, perhaps let me hold this up, you see the evolution. It's almost like Darwin's theory of evolution. Look at that, right into a... That is from...
Put that down right now.
All right.
Put that down. Maybe you don't know who I am. I didn't come out here to be insulted.
I didn't write this, Mr. Heenan. I'm simply showing this as a...
Why don't you show that picture of me, the brain, like that one? There.
Okay.
But no, you couldn't wait to show the other one. Some goofy artist that writes on subway walls someplace in New York City draws a picture of some sewer rat and then keeps putting heads on it and shoes and clothes and makes it to look like me.
All right, well, now let's take you to show Bobby Heenan in action. We'll pick up this match. We'll join it in progress. It's Big John Studd, of course, managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan, against a gentleman who is deaf, nonetheless an extraordinary wrestler.
Gets away with it in my book.
Big body slam by John Studd. 1, 2, pulled him up again. I think he is waiting for some reason. He is waiting for Bobby the Brain Heenan to give him the okay to wrap up Brian McNee.
Well, Brian McNee is hurt. He is hurting.
Abdominal stretch, no. Look at this, oh.
Big, brutal backbreaker right there.
Tremendous backbreaker, pulled him up again.
I heard Bobby Heenan scream, pick him up one more time, John. I love it, I love it. Bobby Heenan stating he hopes Paul Orndorff is watching. I had a feeling that was going on, Jack.
I heard him. I heard what he said to you here at ringside. All right, Big John Studd. The crowd getting a little impatient here. They want Studd. It seems that they want Studd to put McNee away already. But Studd continues to assault. Another whip. Look at that. Oh, he clotheslined him. Now, 2. Look, picked him up again. That is the 5th time that Big John Studd and Bobby the Brain Heenan is loving it. Look at this.
Whoa.
Got him up on top right now.
And that's a bit of a version of Jesse the Body Ventura's body breaker right there being applied by Big John. It's got to be over here, Jack.
McNee. Yes, referee has called for the bell.
Silent McNee, and nonetheless, unfortunately falling to a defeat at the hands of Big John Studd. Manager, of course, by Bobby the Brain Heenan, in the running for the Manager of the Year. And Bobby the Brain Heenan is, you must have been sending in an awful lot of votes for yourself for Big John. Well, not, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't vote for yourself, but you're right up there in the running, Mr. Heenan. Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't surprise me. It surprises me that I'm gracious enough to come out here every now and then and to sit here and try to help you and everybody out, try to explain my point, and you constantly keep running me down.
All right.
First of all, you show pictures of a rat. Now you're saying that I'm writing my own letters in to win this contest.
No, obviously, you can vote for yourself. I mean, that's one.
I wouldn't do that. That was something that a guy like Albano would stoop to.
Why should you be manager of the year in your mind?
Why not? I've led John Studd to nothing but fame and fortune since I took over his career. The missing link has eaten better than he's ever eaten.
Well, that's not so.
Everybody I've managed has
What
nothing.
about the Macho Man? Do you think you're going to land him?
We're very close, let's put it that way.
Okay. Congratulations.
Any day now, I should know one way or the other, and it's looking in my favor.
All right, well, and Bobby Brain,
The Brain.
thank you. The Weasel.
Yes, Jesse.
We'll be back with more TNT. Stay with us. Thank you, boys. Next week on TNT, we'd like to invite you to join us along with Terry Funk, and we'll return to the Silver Dollar Saloon with Mr. Funk, Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful also to be on hand, Tony Garea, and of course the Hart Foundation, led by manager Jimmy Hart. All of that and a little bit more. We also would like to thank our guests this week, Roddy Piper, Bobby the Brain Heenan, John Studd, Brutus Beefcake, Johnny Valiant, and of course Captain Louis Albano, who is also very much in the running for the Manager of the Year contest. Mr. Heenan, thank you again for joining us here on TNT. Holy
Been a
Toledo.
real pleasure, huh, pal?
You have got to be kidding me.
Would you give me that?
Hey.
Keep your hands to yourself.
okay.
Do I go into your pants pockets, your wallet?
No,
Don't-
I was
you
just
want to
wondering.
make this money?
No.
Put Orndorff out. Then it's all yours, pal.
You don't care who wins that, do you?
I don't care if you do it. I'd pay
25
Moore or Wendy Richter. I'd manage Sky Lowell. Whoever puts Orndorff out
Join
is
us
gonna pick
next
up
week for more TNT.
25,000